Alright, so I thought I would make a little tutorial on how to make clothing or literally any kind of mesh you would like for SKATER XL. So basically you're going to start with importing your mesh as always. For me, I will do a simple hat for now. Never mind, we'll do a different one. We can do this one. Okay, so once you have your mesh, it will probably spawn in somewhere around here to be resized as soon as you're importing it. First step you're going to do is fit it to the SKATER however you would like it to fit, including with other gear. So if you have pants or if you have a jacket or hoodie that you're trying to make clip with, say, gear that is not pants or other things, as well as the mesh you're working on, just make sure you have something turned on to fit it to, just to check clipping. But whenever your clipping is checked, you press Control A and apply all the transforms, so everything on the items list sets to 0. From here, I like to make sure my object on this little triangle doesn't have any vertex groups, whereas the SKATER body has all of them. From here, I'll go into weight paint mode up in the top left, and I will find every corresponding weight that will be affected by my mesh. So in my case, it will be these 3, the left shoulder, as well as the right upper leg. Once you find all of your vertex groups and weights that are going to be needed for this mesh, you start at the very top, go into object mode, shift left click your mesh, so this one highlights lighter than the body itself. You press, while whatever vertex group is highlighted, you press shift left click, go into weight mode, and transfer the weights. It may not come out very clean depending on however you have it placed, but just smooth the weights. After that, you create a new. It'll be named group. Make sure it is underneath the weight you just created. Go back to the SKATER, enter weight paint again, and check your next needed weight. Double click it and copy and paste the name. but do not do anything to this one itself. Then you do the same thing, you shift left click your mesh, rename this to whatever new one you are copying, enter weight paint, and transfer weights. As you can see, it will fill out your mesh. And you just continue this process until every single colored portion of the weights is covered by whatever your mesh is. So in my case, the next one I need is spine 1. I enter weight mode after copying the name, paste the name in the new mesh, weights, transfer weights. Now, if you do have an issue where you select the same vertex group and accidentally paste a different vertex group's weight on your new one, you press the minus button and add a new one again and just restart. But the process stays the same for any clothing you would like to do, whether it's pants, shirts, other things to be found in the other tab of the game. It's the same process for any mesh. So from here, I continue checking any other of my needed weights, shift left click, add a new, paste the name, enter weight paint mode, and transfer the weights. I always make sure to smooth them. This is more of a preference, however, the movement will be much cleaner in game. The final will be, oh no, the final one, I'm on second to last, sorry. I remembered I needed one of the left, or the right leg. But just continue until your entire mesh becomes lit up in those different corresponding areas. From here, I'll enter weight paint mode again. Just to verify my final one will be this upper leg. So from here, I go to weights, transfer, and smooth. Now as you can see, every part of my bag is now weighed. From here, I like to add a modifier, add an armature, and connect it to my armature and verify that all of my weights and vertex groups are here. From here, I'll go to object mode, click on my mesh, Control A, and apply all transforms. I'll enter edit mode, and while the mesh is completely selected, you press A, select all, while in edit mode on this mesh. Right click and merge the vertices by distance. This will allow for any of the invisible tears to be connected and not show up invisible in the game. Now from here, it is a very basic if you would like to be able to retexture your mesh, you enter the UV editor, and lots of times there is your UV here. It could be found above this box or in this box. If it is above the box, you press A to select all while on this side and move the Y value until it is in the box. To allow for easier times doing that, you can add a material in this material window while clicking on your mesh. If you come to base color and press image texture, it will allow you to use the texture maps that are given. So in my case, it's this texture. From here, I'll enter edit mode again and say my UV was not centered and it was up here. However, it still shows up on the model. If it is like that, all you would do is scale it down until you see the exact same image as before you moved it. It's very easy, nothing too crazy. This will be the same process for meshes such as pants. However, when you are working on jeans, make sure you check for feet and toe weights. Considering these jeans are above the toes, I needed to include a toe weight and a foot weight because of how low and baggy. Another big thing with jeans is you always need to make sure to select them, go to edit mode, make sure the pants are selected by pressing A, and merge the vertices by distance. Pants are the biggest thing with the tearing issue, as well as some shirts or hoodies. But just make sure that you always merge your object by distance. That way there are no invisible tear marks on your mesh in-game. But for the most part, that's the entire process of Blender. From here, we go about exporting. I like to turn everything off in my scene collection, as well as having the eyeballs turned off. This is because whatever is turned on over here will be exported. So I always turn all this off and get only the mesh that I'm working on. So from here, make sure you Control A, all transforms. Make sure your armature is set up as well as your vertex groups. First click your mesh, shift left click the armature. It will say the rotation is 90 here. I always just do the all transforms while the armature is selected. And then from here we export as an FBX. There is a SKATER XL export for Blender. So from here you will find this in Spees Discord, as well as the XL GM modding Discord, I believe. It's a very basic instruction setup. You can just copy everything I have. And this is the SKATER XL export. Name your file whatever you would like and export. And that brings us to Unity.